3 hours after his father's funeral, Daniel Carter stood inside the only home he had ever known. Rain hit the windows. The house was silent. Daniel was still wearing his black funeral suit when his stepmother, Vanessa, walked toward the front door. She placed a small suitcase on the floor. "Take it," she said coldly. Daniel stared at her. "What is this?" "Your things." He thought he had heard her wrong. Vanessa opened the door. Cold rain blew inside. "Your father is dead," she said. "This house belongs to me now. You need to leave." Daniel felt something break inside him. He had lived there since he was 6 years old. His father had built the house, the family company, and everything around them. "You can't be serious," Daniel whispered. Vanessa smiled. "I already changed the locks." Daniel looked toward the family photos on the wall. Only that morning, he had buried his father. Now, he was losing his home too. But Daniel did not shout. He picked up the suitcase. As he stepped outside, his hand touched something in his pocket, a small silver key. 2 weeks before his death, his father had secretly given it to him. "If something happens to me," Robert had said, "do not fight anyone. Do not beg. Just wait for the right call." At the time, Daniel had not understood. Now he did. He spent that night inside his old car, while Vanessa slept comfortably in the house. Then, at exactly 2:17 a.m., Daniel's phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. A calm voice said, "Mr. Carter, your father left instructions for you." Daniel sat up. "Come alone tomorrow morning," the man continued, "and bring the silver key." The call ended. Daniel looked back at the dark house. For the first time that night, he realized something terrifying. His father had known this would happen. Daniel did not sleep after the phone call. At 8 the next morning, he drove to an old office across town. The building looked empty. There was no company name outside, only a small number on the door. Room 214. Daniel knocked. An older man opened the door. "Daniel Carter?" Daniel nodded. "My name is Mr. Hale. I was your father's private lawyer." Daniel had never seen him before. Mr. Hale locked the door behind them and placed a small metal box on the desk. Daniel stopped breathing for a moment. There was a silver lock on the front. "Your father gave me this 6 months ago," Mr. Hale said. "He told me to call you only if Vanessa forced you out of the house." Daniel slowly reached into his pocket. The silver key fit perfectly. Click. Inside the box were 3 things: a handwritten letter, a property document, and a thick sealed file. On the front of the file, Daniel saw his own name. Below it were 7 words. "Open only if Vanessa throws Daniel out." His hands began to shake. "She knew nothing about this?" Daniel asked. "Nothing," Mr. Hale replied. Daniel opened the letter first. "Son, if you are reading this, then I was right." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. His father explained that he had discovered strange money transfers from the family company. Someone had been moving large amounts of money into secret accounts. That person was Vanessa. Daniel looked up in shock. Mr. Hale pushed the property document toward him. "Your stepmother believes your father left the house," he said. Daniel stared at him. "Didn't he?" Mr. Hale shook his head. "The house was transferred 3 years ago." "To whom?" The lawyer turned the document around. Daniel saw one name at the bottom, his own. Before he could speak, Mr. Hale touched the seal file. "And Daniel," he said quietly, "the house is not the biggest thing your father put in your name." Daniel looked at the thick file. Then Mr. Hale said 5 words that changed everything. "You also own the company." For the first time since his father's funeral, Daniel felt something other than pain. He felt the truth coming closer. Mr. Hale placed the company documents on the table and explained everything. Robert Carter had not been blind. For months, he had noticed missing money, strange payments, and secret deals being made behind his back. He knew someone inside the family was trying to take control, and he knew exactly who it was. Vanessa. Daniel looked down at his father's letter again. His father had written one sentence that stayed in his mind. "A person's true heart appears when they think nobody is watching." Meanwhile, Vanessa was celebrating. She believed Daniel was gone forever. Inside the family home, she walked from room to room, smiling. She called her friends and told them that Robert had left everything to her. She even planned to sell part of the company. She had no idea that every decision she made was being recorded. Daniel stayed quiet. He did not call her. He did not argue. He followed his father's final instructions. That afternoon, Daniel met with the company accountant, Mr. Lewis. At first, the accountant looked nervous. "I thought your stepmother had control now," he said. Daniel placed the documents on the desk. "She never did." Mr. Lewis opened the files and slowly turned pale. There were years of records showing Vanessa had moved company money without permission. She had been preparing for Robert's death long before it happened. Daniel felt angry, but he remembered his father's advice. Do not fight with emotions. Robert had written, fight with the truth. That evening, Vanessa signed a major deal to sell a large part of the company. She thought she was about to become richer than ever, but she did not know Daniel had one final chance to stop her. The next morning, the company board would meet, and for the first time since his father died, Daniel would walk into the room as the person Vanessa feared the most. The real owner, AT-10 the next morning, Vanessa sat at the head of the company table. A bottle of expensive water stood beside her. In front of her was the deal that would sell half of Robert's company. She smiled at the board members. "My husband trusted me," she said. "Today, I will finish what he started." Then the door opened. Daniel walked in. The smile disappeared from Vanessa's face. "What are you doing here?" Daniel did not answer. He quietly took an empty chair. Vanessa stood up. "Security." No one came. She called again. Still no one moved. Then Mr. Hale entered the room carrying a black folder. Vanessa laughed nervously. "This meeting is private." Mr. Hale placed the folder on the table. "No," he said. "This meeting belongs to the company owner." Vanessa pointed at herself. "Exactly." Mr. Hale opened the folder. The room became silent. He showed the first document. 51% of the company's shares belonged to Daniel Carter. Vanessa's face turned white. "That's impossible." Then came the second document. The family house was also in Daniel's name. The third document stopped her completely. The land she planned to sell that morning was owned by a trust. Daniel was the only person who controlled it. Vanessa grabbed the papers. "These are fake." Daniel finally spoke. "Then why did Dad sign them 3 years ago?" Her hands began to shake. Daniel watched her carefully. He had imagined this moment many times since the night she threw him into the rain. But he did not smile. He did not shout. He only pushed his father's letter across the table. Vanessa opened it. Her eyes moved across the page. Then she suddenly stopped. At the bottom, Robert had written one final message for her. Vanessa read it twice. Her face changed. She looked at Daniel. "What does he